Even when I was young, writing was a skill that always came naturally to me. As a young student, I had a tendency to excel in my classes in English. And then when I got to college, I was involved in campus politics. As a student leader, I was tasked with writing a lot of political manifestos, writing speeches for campaigns, and even writing pieces of legislation for our student government. When I got out of college, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with my life. And so I just decided to try and find work doing something that I knew I was good at, and that was writing. I started off doing short writing stints for various offshore clients. One job led to another until eventually I was able to build my skill level up to a point where I considered myself to be an actual professional. And as my skills as a writer got better, my portfolio ended up looking a lot better as well. Right now, I work as a full-time professional writer. Even though I'm also an entrepreneur and a content creator, I have a couple of companies that I run. I also have a podcast and this YouTube channel. I consider those activities to be things that I just do part-time or on the side. Most of the time, I'm writing. For the most part, I work as a ghostwriter. I have published more than 60 books for various clients all over the world. I'm eventually in the process of writing my own book, but the perfectionist in me won't allow me to publish it until I know that it's up to my standards. And so that's why writing books for other clients right now, it serves as a great practice for me. And it really helps that I'm able to earn money in the process as well. Aside from that, I also work as a content writer. So as a content writer, I do website population, I write articles for online blogs, I do company profiles, brochures, video scripts, and all of that. Over my career as a writer, I've definitely learned a few things along the way. And if you're a beginning writer right now who is looking to master your skill in the craft, there are a few tips that I think you would be able to benefit from. And the first tip that I can give to any aspiring writer is to read more. That's always the number one piece of advice I give to anyone who asks me how they can get better at writing. The more you read, the more you will be able to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And this kind of introspection can translate to better writing as well, and you developing your own writing style. And there's no limits to what you can be reading. You could be reading actual fiction books, non-fiction books, online journals, articles. Expand your reading. Read as many different kinds of writers and works of literature as you possibly can. If you're an avid fiction reader, I just like to plug my podcast. It's called Fiction Friends. I do a book review and explainer podcast on the side. Feel free to subscribe to me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. The second tip that I can give you as an aspiring writer is to put yourself out there. These days, content is king. Written content is such a hot commodity these days, especially when it comes to SEO. You are always going to find a client who wants writing services. Finding clients is just a matter of, again, putting yourself out there. There are different platforms like Upwork and Fiverr and LinkedIn and Facebook. All of these platforms can help you get connected with clients. However, I do acknowledge that a lot of these platforms can get really competitive, especially considering that writing as a profession is getting more and more popular these days. So one piece of advice that I can give you, and it's worked for me in the past, is to actually go out and seek clients yourself. Look for local companies that you feel like can benefit from your writing. You might be able to find companies who are looking for writers to maintain their blogs on their websites, or there are a few startups out there who are just looking to build their websites from scratch and they need writers to populate their websites. You can find these jobs anywhere, even within your local area. It's just a matter of making yourself aware of what businesses and clients are out there, and you would end up being able to generate opportunities for yourself. The next piece of advice that I can give you is to write. If you're just starting out, it's okay. Take small paying jobs. They can help you practice. With sheer repetition, you will find out what clients tend to like, what they don't like. Then you would be able to build your proficiency and your skill level over time. Just keep on writing. Keep on practicing the craft. Absorb comments and suggestions from clients. Swallow your pride. Check your ego at the door. There's always something for you to learn. Incorporate these tips and learnings into your future work, and eventually you will get to a point wherein you will be able to charge clients much higher than when you're first starting out. The next tip that I want to give all aspiring writers is to build your portfolio. When I first started out, I made the mistake of not building an actual portfolio, and so it made it difficult for me to sell myself to clients because I didn't have anything to show them that I was actually worth hiring. A portfolio is important because it adds credibility to a writer. This will allow you to increase your rates and prove to clients that you're worth that money. When you're building your portfolio, diversify your projects as much as possible. It's okay for you to specialize and be good at one or just two things, but the more diverse you are, then the more opportunities there will be available to you in the long run. Like me currently, I mostly ghostwrite books for clients. However, I still do work on my skills as an article writer. And that brings me to my last point. Never stop learning. Don't get pigeonholed into becoming just one type of writer. You become a lot more valuable if you are able to diversify your writing skills. Write books, articles, social media captions, scripts, business pitches, and portfolios, and whatever you can get your hands on. All of these different forms of writings require a different kind of discipline, and that means you really have to work on diversifying your skill set. The more versatile you are, the more valuable you become as a writer. To tell you the truth, I never imagined myself being a professional writer back when I was a kid. I always thought that it was the kind of profession that you could never really make a living out of, or that you could never earn money from. But I was seriously mistaken. Writing has given me so many opportunities in life. It has opened up so many doors for me as a creative and as an entrepreneur. I really wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for writing. And I hope that the tips that we talked about today will help you in your career as a professional writer as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed the tips that we talked about today, please do comment down below. Like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It will really help a growing channel like mine. If you want to learn about the specific platforms that I use to find work as a writer, comment down below. I might do a separate video on that in the future. But for now, we can end things here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys around soon.